Pharmacists, here we go. Registration for FPGEE opens in 11 weeks from today's live stream. Pharmacists, TOEFL IBT Speaking 26, Aaron at speaking26.com. Pharmacists, registration for FPGEE opens this year on the 24th of May. That's 11 weeks from the time of today's live stream. TOEFL IBT Speaking 26, Aaron at speaking26.com. Question 1. Every child should be mandated to acquire a second language during their school years. State whether you agree or disagree with that statement, then explain why by progressing your ideas, as the scoring rubrics say, in a way that deserves an advanced score like 26 because of FPGEC's requirements. 15 seconds to prepare. Begin preparing. Now, every child should be mandated. Every child. Okay, so that would be 100%. That's extreme language. In the reading section, you've been warned to pay attention to extreme language. But on the speaking section, you're so rushed to go to your prepared template answers. Time. 45 seconds for me, Aaron at speaking26.com to answer. Begin answering. Now, I disagree that every child should be mandated to acquire a second language during their school years. Every child would mean 100% of children, and this is wrong. Most children benefit from learning a second language, but most does not equal 100%. There are some kids that are born with handicaps. There are some kids who are born into wheelchairs. They have brain developmental problems. For these children, it hurts their brains to learn their first language. So of course, they should not be mandated or required to go through the severe pain of learning a second language. Also, what about time? Okay, pharmacists, the estimated less than 30% of you who are going to pass this year, 2025, for FPGEE's requirements. I make that distinction because I know you guys are in these groups with a lot of people who are not going to pass. That's not how I want it to be, but when you're being courageously honest, you know that's the truth. Not everyone is going to pass. And a lot of people in the groups, they don't even believe in themselves anymore. They're not even taking the TOEFL anymore. They're in those groups more for social reasons to deal with their loneliness. But their negativity, the 70% who are not going to pass, their negativity negatively affects you, the 30% who this is for. So I make that distinction. I tell you my estimate, and I share with you the estimate of other pharmacists who have passed, because I want you to continue to become more independent like you already are being. Separate yourself from the crowd. You want to pass. You, the estimated less than 30%, are going to pass. The more you continue to gain your independence and separate yourself from the over 70% who are not going to pass, who are holding you and the other less than 30% back with their negativity and their passive aggressive jealousy of people who are going to pass, the more you separate yourself from them, the more you empower yourself. Good job for the little bit of separation you have already been making. I know it's not easy. Good job. Okay, pharmacists, usually when you see this question, I know what you do. Instead of taking 15 seconds to prepare, instead of taking 15 seconds to critically analyze the question, for example, seeing that every child or seeing that all children equals 100%, instead of critically analyzing the question and noticing the extreme language, like you have been warned to pay attention to in the reading section of the TOEFL, instead of doing that, you're too busy going to your pre-planned answer. You're too busy going to your 2 reasons and 2 examples, even a personal example, even if you don't have one. But how has that been working out for you, pharmacists? How many times have you taken the real TOEFL in the test center, trying that lackluster strategy and not passing? Some of you are ready to change. Others think that you just need to take the test one more time and get luckier questions or drink more caffeine before that test, whatever. Okay, go take the test one more time. To the even lower percentage of you, now we're way less than 30%, who are going to pass, and know that you've already tried it that way enough times to where you need to make a different change. You need to make a different improvement to pass. The improvement to make is to use your 15 seconds the way that I do, which is to critically analyze the questions. I don't like it that when you see this question, it leads to a low score, so you also shouldn't like it. I don't like it that when you see this question, you feel you have to answer in the positive, goody two-shoes way, pretending to be a perfect, positive person. I don't like that when you see this, you become hyper aware that you're taking a language test. So you feel something like this. Oh, of course I have to say that everybody needs to be required to, I'm taking a test that's in a second language. What are they going to think of me if I disagree with this statement? They're Americans. They're going to love your honesty. They're Americans. They're going to love your critical thinking, which cannot be faked. No matter how successful you've been in getting away with lies and deceiving people, that's not the point. You could show me the best liar in the world, and I would still give that person advice that to get their 26 on speaking for FPGEE 2025, I would say, hey, greatest liar in the world, your strongest power, your highest scoring form of speaking comes from honestly, from speaking honestly, from thinking critically, and then speaking honestly. So instead of seeing this question and thinking, of course I have to sound positive and say everybody should be required to learn a second language and everybody should be required to take the TOEFL, you should see that it says every child, that it says all children, which equals 100%. And you know that 100% of parents aren't going to agree on a whole lot of things. Use your 15 seconds to think critically. Use your 15 seconds better than you have been before all those times when you didn't get 26 on TOEFL IBT speaking. Okay, pharmacists, you have 11 weeks from this video, from this live stream. You have 11 weeks before registration opens. I'm Aaron at speaking26.com, and I will see some of you pharmacists soon. Best of luck to all test takers. I'm Aaron at speaking26.com, and I'll see some of you pharmacists soon. Best of luck to all test takers.